Hey, what's up? Tommy Walker with ConversionXL, and we're doing another website review. Today we're talking about visual complexity, and when I say visual complexity, I'm asking questions like how many elements are competing for my attention? Do these elements detract from the main message? What I mean by an element are the amount of colors being used, the amount of information that's being shown on the page that includes images, text, colors, and anything that is being used to present the main proposition of the website to the visitor. Also, I want you to keep in mind that a website's first impression is made within 1/50th of a second. That's about the same amount of time it takes for a popcorn kernel to pop. The human brain identifies images within 1/13th of a second, and the human memory can only store and process between 5 to 9 chunks of information at a time. We wrote an article about why simple websites are scientifically better, and what has been found in this research is that the websites that show minimal amounts of information, but the most important amounts of information at any given point in time on the screen are generally rated as higher and rated more highly and as more beautiful than websites that are more complex. Today we're going to be looking at barahantag.se. It is a Swedish website. If I've mispronounced that name, please forgive me. And I like this website in particular for review because originally there was I had to use Google Translate in order to get the information on the page. But regardless, that's actually kind of irrelevant when it comes to looking at and judging visual complexity. My first impression of this page is that there are too many things competing for my attention. First and foremost, the wood background adds too much unnecessary noise to the page, but because it is the most simple part of the website, it actually grabs my attention away from the page itself. The next place that my eyes are drawn are the product areas, but there are too many products competing for clicks here, and there's no sort of visual categorization here to tell me what these products are. I see a bunch of bars, but without having some sort of visual anchor to let me know, hey, these are for cabinets or these are for drawers or whatnot, it makes this area very confusing and a little out of context. What I also noticed is that the hero shot and product offering or the value proposition is lost in all of this visual noise. My eyes are naturally drawn to the wood background on the side and then brought to the middle. And by the time I've gotten there, I don't know what the site is about. Most visitors are not necessarily going to take the time to then scroll back up the page or scan back up the page with their eyes to then see what the page is about. When I do, I see that it's about handles and fittings for cabinets, cupboards, and drawers, which is fantastic, but there's nothing to visually reinforce that. I'm not seeing cabinets, cupboards, or drawers. I'm seeing handles, which out of context makes the thing a little bit more confusing than it probably should be. So I would consider changing that product shot, that hero shot at the top there, to be something a little bit more concrete behind the cabinets, cupboards, and drawers, and not necessarily the handles. Because that helps me to kind of get some grounding as to what the page is going to be about. And I also wonder too, are these areas over here on the side, the news, the delivered by, the carriage fee, etc., are they necessary for me as a first-time visitor looking to get custom fittings for my site? Probably not. As a first-time visitor, which I am, I don't necessarily care about your company news or who it's delivered by. I do care about the fees, so maybe that's important to put somewhere closer into the visual hierarchy of the site. But for the most part, I would say that this stuff might be completely unnecessary to have right here, at least for a first impression. Also, testimonials are good. You have these testimonials here on the right rail, but they're placed in the most commonly ignored area for websites. If I'm looking at, say, Facebook, and I've got the right rail that's for advertisements, or I'm looking at Google search, which also has the right rail for advertisements, chances are likely if I see something that's over here on the right sidebar, I'm going to ignore it for the most part. So I would consider taking those testimonials and finding better placement for them in the visual hierarchy of the site, perhaps to reinforce the products that you see or what the site itself is about. Also, the functional navigation here on the left sidebar is also very good, but it's overshadowed by all of the other elements competing for my attention on the page. It took me a little while to realize that there were, product categories like kitchen handles and knobs, LED lights and kitchens, kitchen and bathroom stuff. This might be a better place visually to communicate in the middle of the page what the site is about. And then the products and dimensions, that's something you could probably, put into a drop-down somewhere else on the page. And the same goes for these value proposition enhancers over here too. You've got satisfied customers since 2011, screwed supplied free, files or cabinets and doors, etc., etc. Free delivery, fast delivery. That's all very important stuff, but it's sandwiched between your navigation and your hero shot here, and it just looks completely like I wouldn't even necessarily have seen this if I wasn't looking at the site to review it. Also, if your customer support is warmly welcomed, why is it buried to the bottom of the page or lower on the page? I have a very high resolution monitor. I see a lot of the page. If I were viewing the site on a laptop though, I probably wouldn't have seen this unless I scrolled down. So there's that idea that visual communication, what you're saying and what you're showing have to be kind of in line with each other. And if your support section is buried on the page, it visually does not communicate that you are warmly welcoming customer service contact. I would consider putting it somewhere around here in the top right area, because that's traditionally where customer service links are shown. Also consider moving your product search, your shopping cart, and your customer login information from here over here on the left to up here on the right, because this is the standard positioning for elements on an e-commerce site. Your visitors who are coming to this site, if you're looking to keep that sort of sense of familiarity, it's built in. This is the search and the product information. A lot of that stuff, shopping cart, is already up on the top right-hand side, so stick with what people know. My recommendations for this site overall, there are quite a few that we've already talked about already, but I would say if you wanted to start with a redesign, choose the 5 most important chunks of information to display prominently above the fold. I'd recommend starting with your customer policies, your product hero shot, value proposition, functional product navigation, and a testimonial story. These are the things, as a first-time visitor, if I'm looking to get something like a custom cabinet fitting, these are the things I'm going to care about right up front, not necessarily your news or the background or anything like that. And on that note, please subtract everything that might distract from what a visitor looking for product cabinet fittings might be looking to have. So like the wooden background, the news section, extra products. Put that stuff in. If you have to keep the extra products, put it into context. But if you can do away with having those and just kind of, include visual categories, that might be a better option. If you want, we have some really great content around this stuff. You can actually click on any one of these links to be brought to the website. Why simple websites are scientifically better, the landing page optimization guide you wish you always had, how images can boost your conversion rate, and useful value proposition examples. These are all going to be really great places to focus and hone in on exactly what you need for this particular page. And that's pretty much that for this website. So thank you so much for sharing it with us. I hope that this feedback has been helpful for you. If you get the chance, also take a look at the e-commerce funnel proposition video that we have created a little while back. And we have some really good interviews with smart people that we've been doing as well. Check that out when you get the chance. If you want 13 ways to increase your conversions right now, visit ConversionXL.com, enter your email address and you can get the report. And as always, don't forget to subscribe if you want to get weekly reviews and interviews with industry experts. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.